from Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, September 4th, 2015. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,122 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $230. Antiwar.com reports Turkey's parliament Thursday voted to extend by 1 year the mandate that they allow their military to conduct operations across the border into neighboring Syria and Iraq, a move which was hotly opposed by the pro-Kurdish opposition. The bill not only allows continued airstrikes against targets in those countries, but would allow outright ground invasions at the government's discretion, though they maintain that they have no specific intention to invade either country unless a clear threat to national security emerges. Officials emphasize the war against the Islamic State in the mandate and their intention to increase the involvement in the U.S.-led war against them. As Turkey's role in the Islamic State war has been extremely limited, the mandate will likely be used much more for fighting the ever-escalating war against the Kurdish PKK. Both the Iraqi central government and the Kurdistan regional government have criticized Turkey for attacking villages in northern Iraq during this new offensive against the PKK, though Turkey insists they are confident everyone in those villages are terrorists and not civilians. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Rowan County Clerk's Office might begin issuing same-sex marriage licenses on Friday, even after County Clerk Kim Davis flatly refused to allow her deputy clerks to grant them in her absence. Davis instead opted to stay behind bars Thursday afternoon for disobeying a court order instead of allowing her 6 deputies to issue the licenses under her authority. If she had consented, the judge may have considered releasing her from custody. 5 of the 6 deputies in her office said they will process the paperwork beginning Friday, but it is unclear if they have the authority to do so without Davis's consent. The lone holdout was her son, Nathan Davis. Earlier in the day, Judge Bunning sentenced Davis to jail until she complied with his order to issue the licenses. Davis was escorted out of the courtroom and remanded into custody of a federal marshal. Judge Bunning told Davis as a Catholic he has his own views, but public officials must respect the law. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a civil rights group asked the U.S. government on Thursday to deny Los Angeles police the funding they sought for body cameras for patrol officers, objecting to a city policy that would allow the police chief to withhold video footage from the public. The nearly 9,900-member Los Angeles Police Department is the nation's third-largest metropolitan police force and the biggest to commit to equipping all of its patrol officers, numbering about 7,000, with so-called body cameras. The ACLU of Southern California agrees that body cameras are a potentially useful tool, but objects to a policy that would allow the city's police chief to withhold a video from the public unless a court orders it to be released. ACLU officials also opposed an LAPD policy that would allow an officer who had used force against a person to review body cam footage before talking to investigators. Peter Bybring, ACLU Director of Police Practices, wrote in a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice, "Appropriate policies are vitally important for ensuring that body-worn camera programs serve their intended goal of improving transparency, accountability, and public trust in law enforcement, and do not do more harm than good." Bybring also raised questions about how body cameras could collect footage of demonstrators and asked the department's Bureau of Justice assistants to withhold money sought by the city's police to pay for 700 cameras. Steve Soberoff, president of the Los Angeles Police Commission, said he was surprised by the letter, which came 3 days after the LAPD began handing out body cameras to officers at a patrol division. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.